Today is August 2nd, and I just took my feisty beast to the vet to get her stitches removed. And it was a process. She's definitely got that calico feistiness. And it all came out for the vet and the tech and me. And still not all of the stitches were removed because it was such a production that it would not have done anyone any favors to take them all out. So half of them are out, half of them will dissolve on their own. So that's good. I did mention yesterday how July was really tough, especially toward the end. And it was because the surgery she had was to have mammary masses removed, which she did, and she also had a lymph node removed, and it got sent off, and it was confirmed that she's got cancer, and it's advanced, and the prognosis isn't good. Maybe 6 months if we're lucky, a year if we're really lucky. And it's been hard just because she was 8 weeks old when we got her, or she found us. She walked into our carport and then walked into our house and decided she lived there. And so we've had her, and she's 12 now, so we've had her a very long time. And so this has been hard to process. Her lungs are going to get x-rayed next week just to see how far it spread, and that will give a better idea of how long she might have. So it's very much a day-by-day thing at this point, and in the meantime we're just going to enjoy our time with her and make sure she's comfortable, and that's really all we can do. So that's a bit of a bummer. But we're getting through okay, and just taking it one day at a time. In the meantime, that's all I got, so I'll see everybody again soon. Day 3 was rather uneventful and consisted of me cooking and concocting a lot of random things in the kitchen, including this cup of coffee made from beans roasted over campfires, and this brunch scramble that I'm pretty sure my kid would eat every day of the week if I made it. It's just bacon, yellow potatoes, eggs, onion, garlic, cilantro, and then a little bit of salt and pepper and special seasoning salt. I like a wee bit of barbecue sauce on mine. And then it was time to check in on the cold brewed chai that I had started the night before, and after stirring I could see it was turning a lovely color, and I just let it sit for a little while before serving. Another thing I did was deciding that I wanted to give my Rain Shadow Tarot a little edging of gold. This set comes with beautiful matte silver edging, but I decided I wanted a little blingy bling gold with the 993 Tombow. And now it has a really neat kind of dual tone or two-tone look. I didn't trim the matte silver off. I left it on, and I just put the gold on top of that, and I love it. Good evening. It is Thursday, August 3rd, and it's almost 8 o'clock at night, and my son asked me if I wanted to go for a walk. And so we're going to go on one of our trails that we frequent. which is a good way to end the day, I think. So I'll take you along with us. It felt so amazing to be outside and walking up some hills and feeling a bit out of breath, but not too much. My inner earth was breathing a sigh of relief. That is my son, you see. He is 6'2" and all legs, and keeping up with him can be a bit of a challenge, so he always walks up front, otherwise my heels get stepped on. We found some wild blackberries, and there he is braving the brambles to get the good ones. I found a few huckleberries and the sunset. Good morning. It is Friday, August 4th. It's just after 9 in the morning, and I'm getting ready to head down to the beach. And I'm going to take you along with me to get a glimpse of the absolutely stunning region of the world in which I live. And I hope you enjoy your time with me. Right now, the tide is negative, which means that it is quite far out, and negative tides are prime times for spotting tide pools. So I'm really hoping that there will be some tide pools visible with maybe some sea life for your viewing pleasure. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also hoping to collect some sand to take home, and maybe some small pieces of driftwood, depending on what's available and what will fit in my bag. In my previous vlog about how I'm trying to reconnect with my inner earth and get myself grounded, and the beach for me is a really amazing place to do that. Even though there's water everywhere, there's also sand and driftwood, and sand and driftwood are very powerful grounding materials, at least in my experience. And when I'm feeling really out of whack, kind of like I am right now, one of my favorite things to do to kind of get back in touch is to, once I get to the beach, I take my shoes off, I walk barefoot in the sand whilst carrying my rucksack, which has about 25 to 30 pounds worth of miscellaneous items, including a weight plate and a few other things that I just keep in there. There's nothing quite like 25 pounds on your back sinking your bare feet into the sand. And you have to be really mindful and careful about how you're walking, just so you keep yourself level and stable. And it's an amazing meditation practice, moving meditation practice for me. And breathing the sea air and having my feet in the sand and feeling that weight on my back pushing me down into the earth it's really, really powerful. And I haven't done it in months. This is typically like a regular part of my routine, especially in the summer and the autumn when the weather is drier and typically a bit warmer. The winter, actually, I do it sometimes as well, because sometimes January, especially, every once in a while we'll have a year in my region in the Pacific Northwest where we have very like mild and unseasonably warm Januaries, and January can actually be a great time to do this, just depending on the year, but oftentimes it's just really wet. Today is beautiful. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 70 range, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll see what I can find. We'll see if I can find some tide pools and some small pieces of driftwood, and I'm hoping I have a collection vessel for sand. I actually don't know if I do, so that might have to wait until next time. But okay, I am going to transfer the contents of my everyday bag that I need into my ruck, and then I will pack up and get going, and I will take you along with me. So I will see you in just a few seconds. enjoying your little tour so far. Filming audio at the beach is always tricky business just because the ocean is loud and people are loud. Not a whole lot of people, amazingly, right now because it's still kind of early, and the tide is out pretty far, so hopefully that will minimize the noise. But yeah, so this is part of my grounding routine. It's been too long since I've engaged in it, and I need to come back several times before I go back to work and see kids regularly. And then even then on the weekends, like Saturdays often, especially during those first couple months with kids and the weather is still good, Saturdays at the beach are usually always a good thing. So that'll be a focus for me for September, is just making sure that I come to this place and steady myself a little bit and just make myself more aware in general. I'm getting ready to head back to my car. I think by the time I get back, I will have done about 3.5 miles. I think that's shorter than I typically do. I usually do about 4 to 6 round trip, depending on how I'm feeling. But I haven't done this in a long time. I'm getting a little winded, and there are going to be a ton of people here eventually, and I'd rather avoid that. So I'm going to get ready to head back to my car, I think. So I will see you soon. I'm back in the car, and my beach hair is severe. I'm telling you, if you don't have a lot of volume in your hair and you want volume, a little sea salt water and you'll have bounce in like no time flat. It was also really windy today. I mean, the ocean is often windy, but some days are even more profound in that regard than others. And it was pretty breezy today, so I did get my hair wet, so that plus the wind, and shouldn't be complaining because I often want more bounce in my hair anyway, that's beside the point. I have to tell you about something really cool that happened. So after that last little bit by the cave that I filmed, I was packing up and getting ready to go, and I walked out. Before I put my pack on, I walked out just a little bit to rinse my hands off in a pool, and I found this in said pool, and it was like one of those "and the angels sang" moments, because for the past several days the topic of wands and wand magic has been making itself known to me. I didn't seek it out. It's just one of those things that, you just keep bumping into repeatedly because apparently there's something in that for you. And when I saw this, I immediately thought, that is my wand. And I picked it up. It's just a piece of driftwood. It's nothing special. It's actually flat. It's not round. But it feels really good in my hand, and I don't even know if I'll ever use it, but apparently right now I need a wand, and I need to investigate wand magic. And what is really hilarious is when I got near the trailhead, I laid down for a little bit and just got some sun, and it was magical. But when I got there, I had my shoes in my hand. I was still barefoot, and I put my shoes down so I could take my pack off. And I had this in my hand, and I was listening to a podcast at the time about elemental practices and associations, just because, that's been a thing for me lately as well, even more so than usual. I decided I would just put this in my shoe really quickly, just let it go and put it in my shoe so I could take my pack off. As soon as I dropped this into my shoe, As soon as I took my hand off, the presenter on the podcast said the word wand. I kid you not. It happened. And that is one of those synchronicities are magic, people. They just are. That was, you know, just one more bit of, you know, just so I knew it was legit, you know, because apparently I didn't have that feeling enough when I saw this. And it was so cool because when I saw this in the water, I had such a sense of elemental wholeness. It's the beach is a magical place for working with elements or just connecting with elements, especially when the sun's out, like full on. If the sun is out full on, then you have your fire representation in the sun, you have your water representation with the sea, you have your earth representation with driftwood and sand and rocks and other natural features, sea stacks, other natural features that you find around you. And you have air in the form of ocean breeze. And the totality of that is ether for me. Just the natural rhythms and ebbs and flows of the tides and the cycles, and it's just a culmination of everything, and it's magical. And when I saw this, it was like that elemental wholeness, it just like completely captivated me, and I was just like in a bit of a trance. I didn't film when I found this just because I was so like engrossed in the moment that I just allowed myself to just have that for me and enjoy it. But yeah, it's been kind of a magical morning, and now I'm tired. And that's another thing. If you've ever gone to the beach and you've been all day, actually even just a few hours, by the time you get done, you're tired. But it's a good tired. It's that feeling of I've been out, I've connected, I've breathed in sea air, and now I need a nap. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I think I'm going to go home, make myself some kind of grounding food. I'm really feeling like some sweet potatoes, or I'm like in the mood for beef stew. I might make that. I have all this stuff, so I might make beef stew. And even though it's summer, beef stew is just it's I'm feeling beef stew at the moment. Just those slightly heartier, more grounding foods. I'm feeling that at the moment. And so I think I'm going to go home and work on that and edit this video and hopefully post it today. And yeah, it's been a good day. I don't think I'll film anything else today. I'm really glad I got here and got out when I did, just because people. Tomorrow, I am actually going to be back in the car. I'm going on a little trip for some self-pampering and maybe a couple other activities. So tomorrow will actually probably be its own video on its own day, just because I will be away from home, like more so than normal. And there are lots of things I could show you and talk about. So tomorrow will probably actually be its own thing. So until I see you then, take care and be well.